Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming this afternoon for our session on iOS 18. A little bit kind of a very specific topic. I mean, if you don't have an iPhone, this class probably isn't going to do a lot for you because we're going to really talk about, or Pauline is going to talk about, not me. She's the expert, is going to talk about the new iOS 18 download. And I think some of you may know, I've told you my history in my past before I actually retired. I was in the cell phone market working with Motorola when they first this is before the iPhone even came on the market. And Motorola was planning their first smartphone, which they partnered with Google. So we worked with Google to put together the software and the hardware for the first actual smartphone that was out there, non-Apple. And at the time, Apple was only sold at AT&T. It was very restrictive. And that was the contract they had. So Motorola was able to get into Verizon and sell their cell phones there successfully. So it's kind of like with that knowledge, I know iPhones pretty well. As soon as I left Motorola, I got an iPhone because knowing them so well. And one of the things you may not know, but the operating system on your phone, which is just basically the software, just like you have a computer and then the software, you have your phone and the software. Apple actually every September updates your software free of charge. Did everyone know that? Every year they do it. Could be more than once a year if they have a security update. That will happen off of September, but the actual new update. And as part of just my relationship in the world, I actually am part of the beta testing for the iOS 18. So I've got a separate app on my phone. So I've been using iOS 18 for months now. And we go through and test it, and they ask us for feedback on different parts of it. And so when Pauline, who's a student over at Olin, came in and really knocked the ball out of the park with her Uber presentations, if you were lucky enough to be part of one of those. And so I challenged her to, put something together on iOS 18 for us. And you're going to be very impressed by what you're going to hear now. It is kind of a workshop, so if you have your phone out, want to go along with it, I'm sure that's fine. And I know the very detailed handouts will help you with it. But you're in good shape here. No unicycle today? That's going to be, you bring it in? Okay. So one other little fun fact about Pauline over in Olin, to get here, how she commutes here, is via unicycle. And and for the Uber presentation last time, she'll grab it quickly, yeah. She actually gave the first part of her presentation on the unicycle to keep everybody. So we'll give you a little bit of that too. But she's a great student, and here she is. So without further ado, Pauline, safety first. Here we go.
Hello. So this is my ride to get here, my unicycle. I absolutely love it. I learned at my elementary school back in Oregon, they had a club where you learn to ride a unicycle, and now I go to Olin College, which is a unicycle ride away, studying mechanical engineering, and I run a unicycle club there, teaching all my friends how to ride. So we're actually doing a performance tomorrow night on unicycles in our Nutcracker dance show, so that will be exciting.
Obviously, in the world of unicycles, you're the big wheel.
There's even bigger wheel sizes as well. It's crazy. There's some people who've traveled across the entire world on a unicycle. I played unicycle basketball over summer. That was very fun. I'm very bad at the basketball part, but I got the unicycling down. And I also went to the World Unicycling Championships. Yes, that is a thing. It's like the Olympics of unicycling in Minnesota in August. And that was unbelievable, seeing these teams competing from different countries like China, Japan, Denmark, where I'm going next semester. That might have been an influence. And Australia. It was incredible. So there's a whole world of unicycling out there. But yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I'm studying mechanical engineering, but I love doing classes on technology. I think phones can be so complicated sometimes. When you break it down, it's pretty simple. They often kind of use the same tasks over and over. And as we were kind of talking, they like to make things, like they do these updates thinking, oh, it'll make things so much easier, but it's a bit complicated when you're trying to get onto it. Even my friends and I were complaining about the Photos app. The layout is all different now, so trying to figure out how that works is what we'll go through in this class. And if you have questions at any time, I think I'll have a few segments where I'll ask if anyone has questions, but I also have my email and phone number in this handout, so please reach out to me. I would love to answer any of your questions. Just shoot me a text or call, and I can hop on a call with you to walk through some of these in more detail. And if I go too fast at any time, feel free to let me know, but I'll try to get through the class in the time we have. And yeah, so to go over this, in the handout you have here, see all full screen. So you might have heard of iOS 18. That's kind of the newest version of update on the Apple iPhones. If you have an older version, the steps in this might not be as relevant to your phone. So you might be wondering, oh, why can't I access this control center menu? Or why does my photos still look the same? That's just because you haven't done the update yet. So once you do the update, this will make a bit more sense, but it's nice to learn about it before your whole phone layout changes, and then you're wondering where everything is. And another thing is there's a iOS 18.2 update that has some artificial intelligence features, and that is only integrated into the newest phone models of the 15 Pro, the 15 Max, and all the 16 models. So if you have a brand new phone, that would be most relevant as well, but if you don't, like I do, don't worry about it, because I go through mainly the general parts for all phones for the 18 update. Does that make sense? Okay, great. And I actually borrowed a phone from one of my friends who has those features to show you near the end. So let's get things started. So for the home screen customization is kind of one of the main features on there. Let me show you on my phone. I'm going to be demonstrating on my phone as kind of the main part of things, and then near the end of this, then you all can kind of do it all together with me. But that's kind of the main route I'll take through this. If you can keep up with what I'm doing on my phone, feel free, but we'll mainly walk through things all together near the end. Okay, let me share my phone screen. Give me a second. Okay, so on that first page of the handout, it talks about how you can customize your home screen. To do that, you just tap and hold on your screen like this until your apps are kind of moving about like they are in this lagging video. So that means that you can move these apps around, so I can hold down and move it over here. I can move this over here. So you can just kind of rearrange your layout. But the main thing there is you can click Edit in that upper left corner. And again, I have these steps laid out in the handout. But that upper left, you click Edit, and then you click Customize. Yeah. I'm going to do that one more time. So I just hold down on my home screen until the apps are kind of moving about. And again, you don't want to hold down on an app, or else you'll get just options about that app. So instead, you just hold down anywhere but on an app. Or if you hold down on an app, there should be a Edit Home Screen option. Do you see that? So that's another way to do it.
Can you touch on the widgets? I never got into that as a few series back that they added that.
Yeah, I can do a brief widget talk. Okay, I'm going to show you. So now you click Edit in that top left corner, Customize, and see there's also that Add Widget option. I'll go over that. but customize. And then you have this option where you can change the size of your icons. So you can make them large, and that makes it a bit easier to see all your icons. It just makes the text go away and the size of them bigger. And if you love messing with color layout, you can also do that by tapping on these icons at the bottom, and you can change the color and the tint, but we don't really need to get into too much of that. It's just more if you want. Yeah, got to get the aesthetic phone layout. No, I don't really like the tinted model, so I just keep it normal. But this is just kind of something in that first page of the handout that goes over changing the icon size is kind of the main gist of this feature. Oh, now I have tinted icons. Oh no, okay. There we go. Now they're back to normal. Okay, so yeah. Yes, that's the issue with the larger icon size, is it makes that text go away. Yeah. I might look into settings. There might be a way of making larger icons with the text. That's something I'll look into near the end of this. Another thing you can do, as you are kind of curious about this, is once you go back into that editing mode by holding down on that home screen, you click Edit, top left. Instead of hitting Customize, you click Add Widget. What a fun name, widget. And this allows you to add kind of a larger screen app like weather or your music, a larger clock. I like having like photos. Let's say if I add this weather one, it gives me options. So let's say I want a full forecast on my home screen. I can choose that option and click Add Widget. And now I have this large app of the weather. I also have one for photos. Here, I'll do this again. I'll click Edit, Add Widget, and I'll search for a widget like photos. Again, this is not really an essential thing. It's just more of a preference, or if you would like to have this. So I click on photos and I can swipe through, and this one is nice because it actually features a photo or a few photos each day. So I could click on this larger one, and then it just puts in this large version of, oh, here's this photo of my sister and I, and it will update every day. And then you click Done when you're done editing your home screen, and that keeps it in place. So that's the customization for your home screen. Again, none of this is really essential. It's just kind of a nice to know that you have access to. Sometimes getting all that freedom for design options is not always the best idea, because now my phone looks a little janky with Safari down there, but who knows, maybe I'll become a graphic designer one day. So I'm going to move on to the control center. This, if you don't have the update yet, usually you access the control center by just swiping up from the bottom of your, wait, no, I think it's still the top right. Thank you. Yeah. That's a great question. I'll go over that right now. So if you don't want a widget, so if you just added this weather widget and I really don't like it, you do that same thing. You hold down on the home screen until you can edit, and then there's the minus icon on the upper left of every single app. So you just click that minus symbol, and that's how you can remove your widget, just like you would to remove any apps on your screen. And that just gets rid of it. Yes. You can click that and then click cancel if you want to keep it, or remove if you want to get rid of it.
And while you're in the shake mode, you could move your Safari up higher. You could then move.
Yes, I can move all my apps in different places. And also, you might know that you have this app library now. We're kind of going on to something that you already have on your phone. This is the app library. You get to it by just swiping all the way to the far end of your phone. It's a great way to find apps that you're looking for. Let's say you're trying to find the settings app. You just swipe. So you either swipe this way to get to random settings on your phone, or you swipe all the way here, and you see this library of apps. So just swipe from the right of your screen to the left, and then you get to that library. And that's where you can use that search bar at the top and search for any app you're trying to find, because now they like to hide a lot of apps that you get onto your phone.
It's good if you accidentally delete the icon.
Exactly. Yeah, if you remove an app or something, or oops, I accidentally removed Safari, and that's kind of an essential app, I go back into my app library and I can find it there. And one other thing, sorry, this is a lot of information for just kind of adding apps onto your home screen. If you're still following, once you search for that app, you can hold down on it. Oh, wait. Never mind. You have to find it in here. Oh. There. So I found Safari right here. And so I can press and hold on this Safari app and then click this add button to add it back to my home screen. So I can click and hold. Sorry. Ah. And I drag it back to my screen. Again, if you have questions with that, just come up to me later, because I can go through how to even, when you download apps now, they automatically just go to your app library and don't show up on your home screen, which is kind of a pain. But there's a setting you can change to make them all just go onto your home screen to make things a bit easier. So I can go over that just near the end.
Also, if you really screwed up and you deleted not only the icon, but you deleted the program, when you go back to your, get your apps from.
The App Store or App Library? App Store.
Show the cloud with the little down arrow, which means you already bought this app and just hit it and it'll reload it.
Yeah, exactly. So you just re-download that app if you accidentally delete it from the App Store. But that's kind of goes through, if you're ever wondering, hey, I had this app on my phone, where is it? First step is to search for that app in the app library on your phone. And the other step is re-download it from the Apple Store if you accidentally did delete it, as you were saying. Okay, so we're going to move on from the home screen, which is a bit complicated, but we made it through. And if you have questions, please let me know. So onto the control center. So on the handout, this is what the new control center looks like this. So the control center you usually get to by swiping down from that top right corner of your screen. I can show you on my phone. So top right corner, you just bring your finger down to the middle of the screen, and that's how you get to that control center. And to exit it, you just tap anywhere that's not on an icon. So I would tap in this like fuzzy area here. Yep. So top right corner, I'm not tall enough to go to the top right corner on this screen, but you just bring your finger top right down. Yep. Yeah, so you're on the third page. Oh, okay. So, wait. Whoops. Yeah, so you swipe up and there we go. I can explain how to go through those sections. So that, if you're getting this, oh, not this. If you're getting something that looks like this instead, this is kind of another way of searching for your apps. This meant you're just your hand motion on the screen wasn't going correctly. You get to that by just kind of going from the middle of your screen down. Oops. So that's how you get to this page, but we're not trying to get here. If you want to get to the control center, you go from the top right corner of your screen and bring your finger down. So kind of where you see that battery icon. So touch that battery icon and then move your finger to the middle of your screen. Does that work? Does that work for anyone? Okay, great.
So this is different from the older phones where you used to swipe up.
Yeah, I used to swipe up from the bottom, and now they're like, why don't we change things around to keep you on your toes here? I should work for Apple and just say, keep everything the same, please. Have maybe a few more buttons on the side that we can click to navigate to everything. You can also tell Siri to pull stuff up, I think. Oh, I can't use Siri on this phone right now. Oh, now we're using my credit card. Here, I think I can draw on this. Oh, no, I can't. Okay, so I'm going to move on thinking that we all got the hand motion down from that top right corner to the middle of your screen. And now you're in the control center. So this is where you can connect to Wi-Fi. So let's say you're at this place here which has free Wi-Fi. You can do that by clicking and holding down on that Wi-Fi symbol there. The Wi-Fi symbol is the triangle with the 3 lines.
If your fingers are not really good, can you say, "Hi Siri, open control"?
I think so, yeah. You can use Siri to open your control center. I believe so. I'll test it with my friend's phone real quick. Open control panel. Did it work or did it open settings?
Looks like you have an app named Control Panel.
Open control center. No, it doesn't work. So I think the control center, you can access all of those features in your settings. It's just easier to have that layout here because I could go to my settings and find the Wi-Fi that I need to connect to, or I can just use this control center here and do it this way.
You found the flashlight in settings?
Yeah, there's the flashlight here. Oops. Ah. And to find flashlight in settings, I don't think so. I think to access flashlight, you could tell Siri to turn your flashlight on. Yeah, that's a good hack. If you ever need to use a flashlight, you can, if you have Siri enabled on your phone, you can ask Siri to turn your flashlight on or off. But to get it, you can also use the control center and find that flashlight there. The other icons here is timer, calculator, to get to your camera app more easily. And then also you can adjust your screen brightness with that dial there. I always keep mine super low. It's bad. I should keep it higher. And then volume control here. So if you don't want to adjust the volume of your phone with the side buttons, you can swipe up and down with that. Here, wait, 1 sec.
If you played with your language thing and you happen to you have to say, "Siri, turn on torch."
Yeah, I actually changed my Siri to Danish, and now it starts calling random friends because I tell it, ring till Anna, and it calls Emma or someone, right? So I'm figuring that out, but I'm slowly learning Danish for when I'm in Denmark. Anyways, so yeah, you can use Siri to access some of these, but again, to get to the control center, just swipe down from that top corner. One important thing here is if you want to connect to a Wi-Fi, you just hold down on that Wi-Fi icon, which is this blue one with the triangle. You hold down, and then it gives you these options here. So then you click on that Wi-Fi section, and it shows you the Wi-Fi networks in your area. So let's say you're at a Starbucks, and they have free Wi-Fi. You can access it this way. Or if you're here, you could access it by clicking Wellesley Guest and connect to the Wi-Fi here. Often, if you click on, let's say, Wellesley Guest here, it will direct you to a website with terms and conditions to connect. So that's what it's doing here. It's like, would you like to connect to this Wi-Fi? I swipe down. I totally read all of that. And then you click connect to the internet. This is also what happens like when you're on a plane or at an airport. It's a great way to get on the Wi-Fi and not use up all of your cellular data.
And I take it the little lock beside it means that you have to have a password to get into it.
Yeah, if, let's say, all these other Wi-Fis I cannot get into because of that lock icon there, unless I know the password. So I'm going to go through, again, this is the main control center here. Gotten onto... Oh, let's see.
It's really difficult.
So choose this far corner. Like move your finger, far corner. There you go. Yeah, you have to be very much at that very top right corner, or else it will give you another whole screen of options. Yeah, so I'm going to go through, let's say your control center looks like this instead, or like this. These are now options with your control center. I have it in the handout here. It says this first one, let's see, I can show that here. So when you're on the control center, you get now these 3 different pages, and you get to them, each of them, by just swiping up here to get to the audio page, swipe up to then get to this connection page where you can turn on or off Bluetooth, find the Wi-Fi network just like we did, turn on airplane mode, and then just to get back to the main one, you swipe down, you get back to here, get back to this one. So that's something where if you're just kind of swiping up and down with your phone, you might end up with a different screen, and these are the different screens that you would see. I can show you that with my phone as well. This middle screen is the audio you're listening to. So if I queue up a very good song, I don't know what a good song is. So let's say I start playing this song on my phone. It's going to show me that audio feature up here on that top right, and then I swipe, and it shows me that song that I'm playing. So let's say you're playing songs or music on your phone. This is another way to access the volume, to skip songs. But most often when I'm playing music on my phone's turned off. So when I turn it back on, I can adjust the sound and stuff. It's not essential. Yeah. You swipe down from the bottom to the top of your... Here, I'll show you. There we go, I'm back on. So get to that main control center by swiping from that corner, and then you swipe from the bottom to the top to get to each of those layouts. This is just more something to know where if you end up on one of these screens, now you kind of see the options that are available here, and to get out of it, you just click in that fuzzy section anywhere but on an icon to exit and get back to your home screen.
There's symbols on the right that you can click.
Yes, that's a good tip as well. He was just mentioning there's the symbols here on the right that you can click on instead of swiping. So you can click on those. Oops, and I just exited it. And then one other thing that's pretty nice to have, I have that, I think, on that bottom step in the tips, is how to add a control. So there's a plus button here in that top left corner. Again, they make things really hard to see, so you can barely see it on my screen, but there's a plus sign. So if you click that plus sign, you now can add controls. So once you click that plus sign, upper left corner, now in the bottom middle, it says add a control. And you click add a control, and you have now a whole list of options to choose from. One thing that's nice here is, let's say you want to change the text size on your whole device. You can just do that there. Oh, how do you do that? Okay, you just click on it, and then you can do it later. Why they make things so complicated? Okay, so I just added a control, and I clicked on text size, and it added it here. I did it twice, so I have a duplicate.
Now, is the text size highlighted because that's...
No, they're all highlighted right now. I'm still in editing mode, so they all have those little minus icons. So to get out of editing mode, I'm just going to click somewhere in this fuzzy space.
I just clicked there, and the only...
Yeah, it does. I think so. So if you want to add those controls, you do it this way. But that's just something to note for later. And then once you add a control like text size and you've exited out of the editing mode, you can now change this here.
And there's more on the next page.
and now it has changed the text size for your device. And you can change it back by changing that setting. So I could make the text super small on my device, and now you can read all of my text. Or I could make it really big. He has a girlfriend, it's not me, and but this is his phone, so I.
More pages of selections as you go.
Yeah, there's lots of things you can choose from. You can go into that rabbit hole later. So I'm gonna move on with the control center. If you got stuck at any point, again, come up to me at the end and I can go through some stuff. So this is the part with going over your new Photos album, or your Photos app. It looks different than it did before. To me, a bit more confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it makes sense. So to start out on this Photos part of the handout, I talk about, let's see, I'll swipe down here. So the first thing is seeing all your photos is you just swipe down, so you go from the top to the bottom of your screen. So again, to get to the Photos app, you could either search for it in your app library, now that you're all app library experts. Photos. Or you could just find it on your phone, like I have it right here. So I'm going to click on Photos app. And once you're in your Photos app, this is where all your photos are. So top to bottom is where you can see all your photos. So here's all my photos here. You can see this, I made this hammer in a machine shop class, which is pretty cool. So I learned how to use a mill and lathe, if any of you know much about the shop. I didn't know the difference of a mill and lathe or what they were until this semester, but now I can make hammers and clamps, so that was cool. Anyways, we're moving on. So this is how to see all your photos. And then what you might also see now is if you continue swiping, if you go down, which is bringing your finger from the bottom to the top, you'll see all these different options now. They used to be in the sections on the bottom, like there used to be a section here with, oh, click on your albums, click on shared albums, or a few things here, but now they're all just in one page. So I just continue swiping to see all these different pages. It might just be because you haven't updated. Oh, just continue scrolling down. There we go.
Oh, okay, I just got a bunch of pictures. That's fine.
Yeah, if you're stuck in the pictures section, and again, if your layout looks different, that's because you haven't updated your phone to 18. But once you update it to 18 and you scroll down, you'll see all these different now collections. So is everyone on their Photos app or following along, and is how you would like to? Great. Okay, so again, if your phone does not look like mine yet because you don't have the update, just watch what I'm doing here. On the handout, that first section I talk about is how to filter. I can show you here. Yeah, quick question.
So I don't have the 18 on.
Yeah. I'll look at your phone after if you have automatic updates on. And again, if you have questions on how to download the 18, I can go through that as well. You go into your settings and you can search for updates and maybe find it there. You might have a model that's too old for an 18 update. I'd have to look at your phone to see.
iPhone 7 doesn't support it. Oh, okay.
But now you've gotten a lot more iPhone hacks, but not the. Okay. Huh. Okay, so on to filtering. Let's say you're trying to pull up a video on your phone. There's this icon, when you're scrolling through your photos, there's this icon here in the bottom left that has an up arrow and a down arrow. Oh, now my phone is slipping around. Sorry about that. So once you see that icon, you click it, and you can click on filter. And when you click on filter, it gives you options of if you want to filter and just look at your favorites photos, so the ones you have hearted, the ones, what I mainly, since I take so many videos, I mainly sometimes want to just see my videos. So if you're trying to find a video of you dancing somewhere or something, you click on videos, and then you can see just the videos on your phone. Or I could click on just the favorites, and I could see just my favorite photos. Again, there's lots of unicycling and favorites. Yeah, to get to filters, let's say you're scrolling through your photo album, and then you get to photos. You have to be in the photo section for it to show up, but you just click on those arrows in the bottom left, and then you can click filter and filter by those. No, I'm not in search. I'm just, if you don't see these arrows, it's likely because you aren't updated with your phone. You'll see them once you get the update, and that's how to navigate that. It's not essential. I'm going to move on because this filtering thing is kind of not essential. It's more understanding the layout of photos. So the next step I have in the handout is, I think, yeah, I'll just go over the collections. So when you're on photos and you continue to swipe bottom to top, so again, let's say you're kind of lost in your photo album, you swipe down to the most recent photos, and if you continue swiping, you'll see what these are called are collections. So the first collection that shows up is recent days, so it kind of sorts my photos by my days. So here's yesterday, a group of photos that I took just yesterday. And if I clicked on one of those, I just exit it by clicking that up left arrow. It's like the back arrow up there to get out of it. And then I can continue swiping here. On Friday, I actually went to Seaport and saw the tree lighting with some friends, so I could click on that, and you could see a photo of me falling asleep on the commuter or on the green line there. Or also some photos of friends and all of that. That was fun. So that's kind of seeing the recent days. Might be useful, might not be. Continuing on from there, you'll see the albums. So this is something that's really nice where if you've made a photo album, let's say you have a trip you went on or of things you've done, you can put together an album. If you don't know how to put together an album, I can show that how to do that if you ask a question to me later. But those are all your albums. You just kind of can sort through them by swiping to see more of them. Or I have this listed in the packet is you click that arrow symbol is like expand to see more. So I click that expand. Again, I don't think you see it if you don't have the update yet. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, question? Yes. If you make an album, those photos are both in your main camera roll and also in that album.
So if I were to just want it in my album and delete it from the
It would ask you if you want it to delete from just that album or delete from everything. So I just have one photo here. If I want to select and delete this photo, it says remove from album or delete. Delete would delete that photo from forever, basically. Remove from album would just take it out of that album and keep the photo. Yes.
I only have shared albums, it's probably because I don't have any albums.
Yeah, that means you haven't created any albums if you aren't seeing this section. So I'm going to continue on. There's people and pets. Your phone is pretty smart and can know like names of people if you match them with contacts. So it might have this section. So if you just wanted to see photos of a friend of yours, you could click on that section and see all the photos of them. And again, I could expand it by clicking here, and I could choose photos. And then pinned collections is also interesting. That shows your favorites photos, maps, all that stuff as well. Don't need to go too much into that. Shared albums, this is, if a friend has shared a photo album with you, let's say you did a trip together with multiple people, they might share an album and you can add photos to it and all that. I can go into that on different time. Memories, if you ever see a cool video edit that your phone has done, that's called a memory. So again, this is my sister and I. And they just pop up. They're already edited by your phone, which is great. And if you want to see more of them, you just click that expand arrow at the top there. And then you can see a video of different events you've gone on. The expand arrow is just that arrow that points to the right at the top there. So that's how to expand each of these sections. There's trips. So your phone actually categorizes trips with all these people. So let's say I want to go find that trip that I did with the unicycling festival. I can find it, and now you just see a bunch of cool unicycles from my trip in Bemidji, Minnesota. It was absolutely insane. There's track events. There's this was. I've had a lot of practice. But once you learn how to fall properly, then it's not too bad. Here's Yes, I would love to do a unicycle class. I mean, if you wear a helmet. Here is me on the track event. Someone took a cool photo. Okay, I could talk about unicycling for too long. Continuing on, there's featured photos. This is just photos your phone shows every day that kind of updates, saying, hey, check out these recent photos, or not recent, but these photos from past times. And if you scroll down here, it takes you to media types. So instead of doing that process of filtering like we did earlier, you can just go here and choose videos, or just find those videos that you've taken. And that's kind of how you get to them that way, instead of doing those 3 buttons to filter it. And then this is helpful if you delete a photo and you're wondering where it went accidentally. Your phone saves your deleted photos for up to 30 days. So you just scroll down to Utilities and click on Recently Deleted, and that's going to show you all the photos that you have deleted. Hidden is, let's say you can choose on photos to hide specific photos from your general camera roll. So if you don't want someone to see photos, you can put it in hidden and show someone your whole photo app and camera roll, but have a few photos hidden away and hidden. Kind of a secret thing.
What do you hide stuff you don't want?
Yeah, all my secret boyfriends all live in the hidden folder, as you know. I'm kidding. I'm joking. And then at the very bottom, there's wallpaper suggestions, so you can customize your lock screen. Some of these are okay, or you can make your own wallpaper and settings. And the very bottom is a nice thing to have. At the very bottom, it says customize and reorder. So that's where I can click on, and let's say I don't really care about a lot of these options. I don't need a pin collections, or I don't want I don't know, I like a lot of these things, but I don't need recent days. That's okay, I can take out. Or let's say if I want that utility section to be up here, I could put that up here instead of at the bottom, so I can basically rearrange things in my Photos app that way. Okay, so that's the general gist of Photos app now. There's all these options down here, and then there's your general photos at the top. One last thing with Photos is you can search for photos by clicking that blue magnifying glass at the very top. And you can search for something like Trader Joe's receipt. let's see. And then it shows me, I have a few Trader Joe's receipts, so it actually didn't pull up all of them, which we were kind of seeing as something that happens is where it doesn't maybe show all the options, but it is pretty good at finding them. If I can spell, oh, I can't spell receipt. There we go. And then I can, oh, I have to click done in the upper right. Oh, no, okay. Let me try to get this. There we go. I had to click on it 5 times to have it show up. But here's a receipt pulled up from Trader Joe's. I could search a friend if it knows faces on your phone. So I could say me, which is Pauline, dancing. And it would show all these videos of me from when I was really little and competitive dance to preparing for the dance performance that I have tomorrow. It shows a few of these, but again, it's not showing everything. It's not super intelligent yet, but it's getting there. But that's something to be helpful for if you, let's say, went on a trip to Hawaii trip. You could search for that here, and it would pull up those photos from that trip, which, yes, I was lucky enough to go to Hawaii a year or 2 ago.
I wonder why it has it as a trip, capital trip, and small trip. When you did trip,
Yeah.
it had capital TRIP and it also
Oh,
had
maybe?
small letter TRIP.
I don't know. Maybe it's just smarter when it knows like that key word of trip. Yeah. But yeah, if you do Hawaii, it would show like all my 100 photos. And so that's a really helpful thing. I think even if you don't have the update, there's a search bar somewhere in your Photos app, probably in the bottom. But you can find that magnifying search bar and search for photos that way, or search for people. It's a great way if you're trying to find a photo from a while ago, and I have way too many photos. I think I have 26,000 photos on my phone. Yeah, I should get rid of some. I'll do that someday. Okay, so that goes over photos. Again, I have kind of all these laid out in the brochure of each of those things I mentioned. The question was, if you have videos, how do you put them all together to make a home movie? Let's see. Because there's the memories section where that puts together like photos kind of for you of moments that you've gone on. But if you want to make a new one, yeah, there isn't a movie app. I think there's iMovie on your phone. Yeah, so there's that one. I also use CapCut. There's a way now with the new phones that you can actually put in a prompt and make a memory based on what you enter, like a phrase saying, make a video from my trip to Hawaii in 2016. And it could actually put together a video edit for you. That's something with the newer 15 and 16 models.
But if it's already a video, like this,
Yeah.
that's already a video, not making.
Yeah, so if you want to edit a video together, currently your best bet would be to use a different app like iMovie, I think is on your phone, or another app. I use CapCut a lot to edit videos together. I could CapCut, CAPCUT. I'm going to look on your phone to see if you have iMovie or another software, but I can work with you after to show you briefly. I love editing videos on my phone. There's so much software on my computer to edit videos, but I mainly just do it all on my phone. It's good. It's fun. Okay, I'm going to move on to this new app that you get when you download that iOS 18, and it's called Passwords. So I'm going to find it by just going to my app library and searching for passwords. And again, if you don't have the update, you don't have this app yet, but you will get it when you get the update.
Now, is that the same as your passwords that you had already get to?
Yeah, so if you have saved passwords in certain like websites to log in, or your apps, like if you have your mail password or your Wi-Fi password, this is all saved on your phone, but now it's all in one place, which is this Passwords app. So that's pretty convenient. So let's say you're on your computer trying to remember your password to your mail account or something. You could actually go onto this app on your phone and you can search for that password because it's now all automatically saved. Some people save their passwords on their Notes app on their phone, hidden away, not very secure, and this is a better way to secure those passwords and save them. So instead of writing everything down on a sheet of paper, you can write down passwords on your phone as well. So to add a password into this app, there's this plus sign in the very bottom right corner. And so you would click that plus sign. You can write out what website, so when you search for this password later, you remember. So let's say I'm going to say my Outlook mail account. And then I can put in my username and my password for it. I just enter it in here and click save. So let's say my username is XYZ. What a great email account there. My password is ABC. There's my email and password there. And I'm going to click save. Oh, you can't even see me putting in my password. That's a good feature. But I put in a password, put in a username. I could add notes as well, and I click save. And that's going to save it to this like passwords library. So now I can search for it. And I just click on it. Here I can, oh, there we go. So on this main page in the Passwords app, again, I get to it by going to Passwords app. And then I can search for that password, what do I call it? My Outlook mail account. So there I search for Outlook mail account. I can click on it, and it gives me my username. And when you click on that password, because right now you can't see it, but on my phone it shows 3 dots, like that dotted password look. You just click on those dots. It then shows you that password that you have. Yeah. I would say allow notifications for the Passwords app. I haven't used it too much to know how that is helpful or how it isn't, but I don't see it as an app that's just going to buzz your phone every day, like some of these apps do. Yeah, I would be fine with allowing it, but again, it's up to you.
And then going in the opposite direction, if I went to the Jerry website and I wanted to create an account there, I do all that and it will save it to my passwords.
Yeah, so if you...
So the next time I go, it'll automatically bring me into there.
Yeah, it should automatically remember your password for websites that you enter your username and password for on your phone.
And when you're doing it, it asks you, do you want to create the password or do you want a stronger password if it does it?
Yeah, so that's the thing where now when you create passwords, it says, hey, do you want to, let's see, call this test. Test. When I make a password, oh, it doesn't even pop up on here, but on my phone it says strong password suggestion. And it gives me some long string of numbers that I'll never remember. That's something you could click on, and it would actually show you that long string of numbers in your Passwords app, but it would also automatically sign you into those things, those websites.
An app, I'd have to look up the name of it. You can create and you can press the uppercase, lowercase, special characters, number of characters you wish. Drop it onto your
Yeah, so you can like use those passwords from other ways as well. I'm just going to go over kind of the general feature of this is you can search for passwords on this app. You can add passwords as well, so you can save your passwords onto here so you can find them. A great thing, another thing with this app is, let's say a friend comes over to your house and wants to know the Wi-Fi password. You can actually share that with them through this app. You click on Wi-Fi, and if you click on one of the Wi-Fi networks, it should probably pop up your home one, or if you know your home Wi-Fi username, you just search up for that name of that Wi-Fi. So I'll just click on Wellesley Guest here. And it would show you the password for your Wi-Fi network. So that's a nice feature to have where you can then see that Wi-Fi password of your home network if you don't know it off the top of your head. And it also says show network QR code. So that's probably a way that you could actually have other people connect to that Wi-Fi network. So instead of having them type in all those 20 characters of your Wi-Fi password, you could pull this up, and if you've ever seen these QR codes, you just hold your camera app up to it and it shows a link or pop-up. The whole passwords app is new. Yes. QR code? You've always been able to scan QR codes with all your phones. So. Yeah, I just learned about the QR code password thing 5 seconds ago, so I guess it is pretty new. I did not see that before. Cool, so that's kind of the general gist of the iOS 18. I'll take kind of the next, the class is kind of generally wrapped up within this hour here, but I have an iPhone that I can show those different artificial intelligence features to. So if your brain is still functioning, I can, if you're still with me barely, I'll show you a few of those cool features that it has on that phone. But again, these features that I'm about to show are only accessible on those new 15 Pro, 15 Max, and 16 models. Okay, I'm gonna get started with the Apple Intelligence feature. We'll try to keep this within 10 minutes to keep your attention span still going. So again, this is something that only works for 15 Pro, 15 Max, and all 16 models, and any other new phones that might come out in the near future. Again, I'm borrowing a friend's phone because I don't have these features on my phone. So the first one is kind of a fun one. There's this app now called Image Playground. And when you're in that app, I'll just show these, you don't need to follow along. It's just features that you now have. You can click add, and you can actually create images from descriptions. So if I wanted to do a cat on unicycle, I could add that in, and it would create an image. And I can swipe through and see these different images and realize, why is that unicycle sideways? Or maybe why is a cat on a unicycle? But it's just AI-generated images. I've kind of learned about how to do some of this stuff in one of my classes where it's all just a lot of math. It's not magic, it's just kind of this algorithm that learns through doing it, and then it realizes how right it is or how correct it is, and then kind of retrains itself to make a new image based on the math. And
what's interesting is it's somewhat selective. Like, I went to a class on AI here, and they said, come up with something. So I said, Donald Duck at the beach surfing. And it came up with a duck, not Donald Duck, because that is copyrighted.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it only takes it from certain libraries or certain art forms. So that's just something you can make, or you could do someone, have a person, so it knows who, I think, it knows this person, this face, Tabby, who is my roommate, and now it can show you these AI-generated images of her, which I think are quite scary. But that's just something you might see around as a feature. How to get to what? This app. You click the plus button. That plus button, you scroll to get to Image Playground. Yeah. So that's just how you get to it. Anyways, yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. That's just not as much of a useful feature, but something you might see pop up. Another thing is there's an updated Siri. So you can add a setting where it can integrate Siri with ChatGPT, and that will give you more summaries of words that you say or text. It's just a more intelligent Siri. You could pull up a document on something, and you could ask Siri to describe what you're looking at. So if I find my Safari, and I'm looking at the history of a bicycle, I could say, Hey Siri, what am I looking at? Nope. Let's see. I'll have to try that out another time because that's not working. But a cool feature is, oh, all good.
I was going to say, I don't have Siri ever turned off. That like influence your privacy?
There is some privacy concern with ChatGPT. I have not read up on that to answer that question thoroughly. I've used it a bunch, but I can't answer that. One really cool thing is it has this intelligent camera now. So if you have a new phone, it has this side button here. I think this is only on iPhone 16s. But you just hold down on this camera control button in the bottom right side of your phone for 3 seconds. And it pulls up this intelligent camera. So it's kind of a new camera. So let's say if I take a picture of this unicycle here, I click that, and it searches Google, or I can click search, and it shows me similar objects. So let's say a friend has a cool pair of shoes that you want to see where they got them from, or a water bottle, or if you want to see reviews of a restaurant, you could actually take a picture of their sign, and you could find that restaurant on Google that way. So now I can search through, and looks like it didn't quite capture it well enough to understand what I'm looking at. But again, it is a work in progress. It works better, I think, maybe for a water bottle. I can click that, and I click search. And it can pull up this brand of water bottle that I have, which is an Owala, and it shows me similar ones on Google, which is cool. Another thing is I could take a picture of text. So I could take a picture like that and see how that email pops up at the bottom. So here I could click this email from this text. I was able to capture that this was an email. And again, if I took a picture with my phone number on there too, it would also show that here and I could call it. So that's a really nice feature as well, is I could click that email, also click the phone number and call that way instead of trying to enter it all into my phone. And it could be with handwriting too. So you could take a picture of notes you wrote, and you could, I think, even copy that text. So I can even select this text here and copy it. And you could put that text into something else. So that's kind of a nice feature with the camera. You can get information about a location, reviews, all that stuff. And then last thing I'll go over is just writing tools. So let's say you're writing a text or an email. Hey, Pauline, I am, oh sorry, I'm trying to text with one finger. This is not working. Starving, get me food right now. Oh, let's see. Okay, now if I select this text. So I selected that text, and now there's an option that says writing tools, and I can click on writing tools, and it shows me that I can have the AI proofread it, rewrite my sentence. I could have it make it seem more friendly, which might be good in this case because I'm a bit hangry writing this message. I'm not actually hungry right now, but or I can click on professional and write it more in a professional manner. This also works if you're writing emails on your phone as well. So you have these options. I think this would work on pages too. Anything on your phone where you're writing text, you can select it and choose these options. So I'll click friendly, and then it gives me options. And I could click rewrite until it gives me an option I like. I'm feeling quite hungry. Could you please get me some food, right? Like that's just a more friendly option. And I click done, and I can send that. So yeah, that's the main tool there. There's a setting where you can on Safari. I think this is kind of the last bit here. If I don't want to read this whole article, I could actually have it summarize it for me. Yeah, if you don't want to work your brain at all and read anything, you can just ask it to summarize. That's what students do nowadays. You just like highlight a research paper, input it to ChatGPT, and hey, say summarize this paper, or give me the spark notes of this book I was supposed to read. So you click this icon here. You can just Google how to summarize with Safari, and it will go through this because I don't have this part in the handout. But there's this little square button with lines. So you would click that, and it says highlights. Safari intelligently displays summaries, previews, and suggestions. Turn on or not now. So I could turn that on, and let's see, I'll click that again. If I reload this, maybe it will work. Oh yeah, there it says.
Where did you go to access AI?
Now it shows me the summary of this whole article. And I can click on it. And it can also summarize emails. So if you don't want to read a long email, I think it's good to read all your emails. And you can also summarize texts. But I think that's doesn't need to happen. I don't know why they have some of those features. But
All this is integrated into the iPhone, but if you don't have the right level of iPhone, you can still get it by going to ChatGPT directly.
yeah, so if I wanted to summarize this article and I didn't have one of the newest iPhones, I could just highlight this text, or I could insert the link to this article, and I could get the ChatGPT app and say, hey, summarize this for me. So that's how it works. So yeah, those are kind of the main features of this. I think the coolest one is that camera where you can scan objects and phones, but you actually don't need the newest iPhone to do that. You could actually do that with the Google app. So that's something where you could find that roundabout way of doing all these features that they give you here. It's just a bit easier all-in-one version.
Amazon has a feature like that. I tried it one time, and we have some cereal bowls, so I wanted to get the same one because we broke one.
Yeah.
And it does take a picture of it. It does send you the thing, but the thing I got was from China. Instead of being light, it was heavy. It looked the same.
Yeah, you have to look at the weight. I've tried that too. Or sometimes it doesn't tell me something, or yeah, it's a good feature.
Get AI on my phone. Where do I go?
So on your phone, do you have what phone do you have?
16.
Oh yeah, you hold down on that side button for 3 seconds,
Oh,
and then it takes you to that camera.
okay, okay.
You have to be in. Your phone is locked right now, so you have to open your phone up. So to have it unlocked, and then you can access that. I can show you. But I think that's it for me talking on the microphone. Thanks so much for coming, and I can answer any individual questions too.